most of my DMs were amazing. Yeah, we had a couple of squabbles with friends, with the DM being a jackass and me being their friends and me being an a-hole too. Like, that happens with a group of friends. But then I started encountering actual toxic dungeon masters. And the thing is that most of the time, there's no reasoning with them. And you gotta sometimes fight fire with fire. I don't think it's the best approach, but that's what we're going to talk about today. How to deal with toxic DMs with fire. The first type of toxic DM that you want to take a look at is the control freak. The signs here are pretty straightforward. Number one, they micromanage your actions, they micromanage invalid choices, they force a railroaded plot, they tell you you're doing things wrong. They pretty much decide exactly how the game is going to go. They should be more of a storyteller than an actual dungeon master. And so, you can exploit this. Number one, exploit specificity. Frame your actions around the rules that they do respect. Raw says I can attempt this with a roll. Care to challenge the dice? It's one of those things that if they set a rule, then you can actually go for it. Turn their own words against them. Use their over-detailed setting to outwit their own plans. Take notes. The control freak, if you take enough notes and pay attention to what's going on, usually it'll be their own downfall. The second thing is make the conflict visible. What I mean by this, call it out. Do my choices matter here, or is this just a cutscene? It's a passive-aggressive statement, but it gets the point across. In most cases, a toxic DM is not one who's going to respond to you actually calling out constructive criticism. That's not a toxic DM. Could someone do these things and you'd be like, hey, I just feel like I'm not being heard, and the dungeon master go, oh my goodness gracious, you're absolutely right. Of course it could, but that's not a toxic DM. That's just someone that's invested in their own thing and who's willing to listen to you. Who are we talking about? The people that aren't willing to listen.